Good morning friends. Welcome to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. In the last few videos, I have discussed how to compute the first and follow for the non-terminals with few examples. I hope you have watched those videos. If you did not watch those videos or if you don't know how to compute the first and follow for the non-terminals, I request you to go back and watch those videos and come back to this video for better understanding. In this video, I want to discuss about LL1 parser and how to construct the LL1 parsing table, what are the rules, all these things I will discuss in detail. So I request everyone to watch the complete video. First, let me come to the LL1 parser. LL1 parser is a top-down parser. We have already discussed about that parsers are classified into two types. One is top-down parser and bottom-up parser. Top-down parser consists of again two types of parsers. One is recursive descent parser and another one is predictive parser or LL1 parser. So let me discuss about LL1 parser. Now what is this two L's represents? This first L represents that you are reading the input string from left to right. So this first L represents that input from left to right. I hope it is visible as left to right only. Okay, so if you have any string, let's take that you have a string called AABB. So you are reading from left to right. Okay, and this second L represents that you are doing the leftmost derivation, because all the top-down parsers will do the leftmost derivation. They will start from the root and they will go for the in terminals. Am I right or wrong? Whereas bottom-up parsers will do the reverse of rightmost derivation, means they will take the strings and then they will go up to the root node or the start symbol. Okay, so the first L represents that it is reading the input string from left to right, and second L represents that it uses the leftmost derivation, and this one represents that it is reading the one input character at a time. Is it clear? Now first come to the how the parsing algorithm will work. The parsing algorithm will take the input buffer consists of your input string. Let's take that in case AABB. AABB will be stored in the input buffer and you have a parsing algorithm, and if the parsing algorithm should work, you need to construct the LL1 parsing table. When it comes to the recursive descent parsing, we did not construct any parsing table. Am I right or wrong? How it worked? It worked with the help of a procedure called brute force mechanism and backtracking. So for backtracking and brute force, we does not require any table. But whereas the LL1 does not use any backtracking mechanism. So it depends on the parsing table. So you know already the input buffer, whatever the string you are giving. For the given grammar, you need to construct the parsing table. And this parsing table and the input buffer, if you give to the parser, and with the help of this tag, it will construct the parser tree. Is it clear? Finally, the parser will give the parsing tree or the syntax tree as an output. So if you want the parsing tree, you have to give the input buffer and the parsing table for the given grammar. With the help of this tag, it will construct the parsing tree. So let me discuss about how to construct the parsing table for the LL1. Okay, so for each production, so if you have a grammar, obviously you will have a production. What is the representation of a grammar? It represented in the form of variables, terminals, productions and the start symbol. Am I right or wrong? So these variables are, I can say them as non-terminals, and this is the terminals and the set of productions and the start symbol. So if you have a set of productions, for each production, let's take that a non-terminal determines something. Is it clear? Any grammar will be in the form of non-terminal derive something. Am I right or wrong? So here I have taken that for each production, A determines alpha of the grammar, perform step 2 and step 3. So you need to perform the step 2 and step 3. Let's see what they are. Compute the first of alpha. So if you have a production, A determines alpha, first compute the first of alpha. So that's why I have discussed how to compute the first. Then add A determines alpha to each terminal A in the first of alpha. I hope it is understood for you. Let me discuss with an example. Let me take a small grammar. S determines open braces, yes, close braces, or epsilon. Is it clear? Let me take this example. Now, if you see that we have two productions. What are the two productions? One is that S determines open braces, yes, and close braces, and S determines epsilon. Can you tell me what are the non-terminals here? The non-terminals are yes. Will you agree with me? And the start symbol is also yes only. How I got the non-terminal as S? If you take any production, the left hand side symbol, we will consider them as non-terminals. And what is the terminals? The terminals are open braces, closed braces, and you have the epsilon. If you want to consider them, it is okay. If it does not consider it also, not a problem. So I can say that we have two terminals because length of the epsilon is 0. Okay. So now what I will do is that I will construct the parsing table. How I will constructing the parsing table is that I will have all the terminals, open braces, close braces. I will not consider the epsilon. Okay. And even I will keep the dollar. Why I am keeping the dollar, you will slowly understand. Okay. So these at the column level, I will keep all the terminals because any table will have the rows and columns. So at the column level, I will keep the terminals. These are the terminals. Okay. And at the row side, I will keep the non-terminals. Here only one non-terminal is there. Yes. Now, if you look at it, we have a production called S determines open braces, yes, closed braces. So, if you want to keep, where you want to keep this production? Is it clear? So, what you will do is that you will compute the first of this one. First of this alpha, because this is the alpha here. So, first of alpha. Can anyone tell me what is the first of this one? First of this one is with what it is starting. With this one it is starting. Am I right or wrong? So, the open braces is the first of this one. So, at the open braces, you will keep this production. That is what they are saying. Compute the first of alpha, then add A determines alpha to each terminal A. Because whenever you are computing the first, obviously you will get a collection of terminals. So, at each terminal, you add this A determines alpha. Is it clear? So, here I have computed the first of this one. I got the open braces. At that place, I kept the S determines open braces, S close braces. Is it clear? This is the step 2. Now, step 3. If epsilon is there in the first of alpha, may be possible. Now, let's take this one. If I consider this as A and this is alpha, A determines alpha. If you compute the first of alpha, you will get the epsilon. So, epsilon may be possible in the first of alpha. Add A determines alpha to each terminal B in follow of A. So, if you have A determines alpha, when you are computing the first of alpha, if you get a epsilon, then A determines alpha should be placed in the follow of A. Is it clear? Now come to this example. S determines epsilon is there. So, first of epsilon is epsilon. So, what you will do? You have to place this one S determines epsilon in the follow of S. So, you need to compute the follow of S. So, that's why I told you that before constructing the LL1 table, you should know how to compute the first and follow. Let me discuss how to compute the follow of S. Okay. Now, what are the rules for computing the follow? If it is a start symbol, you need to keep the dollar. Am I right or wrong? The next rule, what you have to do, you need to check whether S is there in the right hand side of any production. If you look at it, S is there here. So, after S, whatever the symbol is there, for that one you need to compute the first. So after yes here, open closed braces is there. So first of the closed braces, because closed braces is a terminal, so first of terminal is terminal only. So you have follow of s is dollar comma closed braces. So you need to keep the s determines epsilon in both these places. Okay, so here I am keeping, here also I am keeping. Is it clear? Are you able to understand it or not? Now, this is the way we will construct the table. Now, what is the step 4? Let me erase this one so that you will understand the step 4. Okay. Make each undefined entry of the table as error. Meaning is that if you have any undefined entry, here if you see that all the entries are defined, maybe for some examples, some places you will not have any productions. Let's take that here you don't have any production. Then that place we will call it as a error. Are you able to understand it or not? So this is the way the errors will be identified in your program. Is it clear? Whenever you have given some string, if it is not parsing by the parsing table and it gives some error, then automatically it will display error for you. Is it clear? If any undefined entry is there, that we will consider it as error. And remember one more important point of the LL1 parsing table. At any position or any entry, if you consider this one, yes, and this one, as you have only one entry, it is okay. If you does not have any entry, then I will consider it as a error. But let's take that you have two entries here, some epsilon. Let's take that. Two entries are there. Slowly I will discuss them, don't worry. If you have two entries, then for that grammar, you cannot construct the LL1 parsing table. If you cannot construct the LL1 parsing table, you cannot parse using the LL1 parser. I hope it is visible for, I hope it is clear for you. Okay, now let me discuss again. You have taken some grammar and you started constructing the LL1 parsing table. At any entry, you got more than one production. Okay, are you able to understand what is meant by entry? I think you have understood. Yes on open braces or yes on closed braces, yes on terminal, or I can say that some non-terminal comma some terminal. Okay, some non-terminal and some terminal. When you are looking, if you have more than one production, then we will say that for that grammar we cannot construct a LL1 parsing table. Meaning is that parsing table we are constructing, but that grammar cannot be parsed using LL1 parser. Why? On yes, on this one, should I use this production, should I use this production? There is an ambiguity. Are you able to understand? Yes on this one, if I want to use this one or I should use this one. That is the query we have. Meaning is that, what is the meaning? Yes on this one, what is this, sir? You can have a doubt. Now let's take that you are in the parsing table. Let's take that you are in the yes, some non-terminal. Okay, and you are reading the input string, this one, open braces. So now yes on this one, which production you have to use? Whether you have to use yes open braces, yes. If you have like this, then obviously, suppose let's take that here it is not there. Okay, suppose yes on open braces, then what is the meaning is that if you have, when you are doing the parsing table construction, okay, parser, if you are doing yes on open braces, means you are the non-terminal s and you have a input string open braces, then what production you want to use, then you should use this production. Is it clear? Similarly, you are at the yes somewhere in the parsing, you have the yes and you are looking at the input symbol closed braces. Then which production you want to use? Yes on closed braces, you should use the production called yes determines epsilon. So from yes, you should determine epsilon. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? Like that we will construct the parsing tree or syntax tree. So this will help us to construct the parsing tree. Now if I have two entries here, then what will happen? If I am looking at the non-terminal S and the input string is open braces, there is a confusion. Should I use this one or should I use this one? There is a ambiguity. For those kind of grammars, LL1 parser will not work. Okay, so slowly we will discuss all these examples, don't worry. So I hope you have understood what is a LL1 parser and how to construct the LL1 parsing table. With these steps, I will discuss few examples in the next video. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts in less than 24 hours. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.